situated just outside Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. 5.5 kilometers, 3.4 miles. Track hosted its first race here in 1999, won by my fellow countryman Eddie Irvine, and been the home to many firsts. Whether that be the chaotic start we had in the 2001 race, Alonso's first pole and Raikkonen's first win in 2003, or the controversial multi-21 incident that occurred here in 2013. Track has had some truly dramatic races over the years, and unfortunately this will be the last year it hosts, because obviously Malaysia is going off the calendar. So let's hope the drivers tonight can put on a show, because we won't have too many races left. Joining me in the box tonight for tonight's race is Chris Logan. Chris, welcome.
Hello everyone. I hope you have a good watch. Hope it's an exciting race. There's a lot of action as well.
Mm-hmm. Chris, I'm a big fan of this track. What will you miss or not miss about it? Like, I mean, is it one of your favourite circuits, or is it just never been one that you've truly enjoyed?
Yeah, well, I raced this yesterday, and I didn't like it at all. There's a couple of corners I like, but I just don't like it. I don't like the track at all.
See, I think from my personal point of view, I'm a big fan of the first two sectors, and then there's a lot of off-camber corners in the third sector, and it's kind of hard to get used to.
Yes.
The last corner they changed for last year's race, and it's a bit weird to drive around there now. It's because it's sort of like banked, so you can't really go in on the apex now. It's kind of hard to do. What can you read us out the championship standings as they are at the minute?
Yes, we have Fuzzer, who's leading on 153 points. We've got Dobby in second on 144. And then we got Goliath in third on 80 points. So it's really between Fuzzer and Dobby for the title. Mm-hmm. But if them two retire, then Goliath wins, then he could be back.
He could be right back in the hunt, yeah. Who do you think's going to qualify in pole, or who's your money on for pole position?
Looking at the trial times, I would say between NR and Fuzzer.
Yeah, my money's on NR to get pole, but you never know. It could be completely random, of course.
Bobby could get pole as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of contenders. There are a lot of consistent times here. There's plenty of drivers in the running. I'm currently on board with the first man here, Pub Star Andy. He's just on his outlap here, just heading into the back straight now. Just keep on board with him. See what he does.
Yeah.
Just to get the heat in the tires, turn it up to max engine mode. Taking a wide line.
I'm on board with Sao Paulo at the moment.
You can keep me updated on his progress. Alright, across the line he comes, Pub Star Andy, up to 200 miles an hour, down the front straight here, breaking into turn one. Goes a little bit wide, but you can go a little bit wide there and still get the time back. Nice turn two on the throttle here. Coming up to the
Sao Paulo starting.
Split.
Sao Paulo starting his flying lap now.
Let's see. Yeah, all looks good. Looks tidy so far. Coming up to the tricky part of the lap, sector 2 here with the swoop and S section. It can be very hard to get the right line here. You can go wide if you take a little bit too much speed, but then you can very easily lose time here if you don't come in enough. Nice. I think you could have probably taken a little bit more speed in one of the previous corners. Down into this left-hander here before the second sector split. Up this slight hill.
Oh no, he's gone off. Sao Paulo's gone off.
Yellow, yeah, I see yellow flags, sector 2. Pub's just coming in the end of his lap here. Let's see what time he can produce. That corner he's just gone through here is really horrible. It's hard to get the angles right. Let's see what he can do here. Selling it back up to 200 miles an hour, just before the braking zone here, before this tricky hairpin coming into the front start finish straight and across the line, and he does a 1:32.6. I think that could be a good time here. Woods second 1:32.3. He's just gone beast move. He's just gone with a 1:33.6. NR up to second on a 1:32.8.
That's a good lap from... Yeah, John's just crossed the line. You were 1:32.6.
Yeah, 7,000 or 7/100ths off pole position. Be interesting to see what some of the other runners can do.
Good age crossed the line with a 1:31.7.
No, that is fast. Flip me, that's a really good time.
That is fast.
That is very fast. Fuzza second, 6/10 off. Wow, I was expecting him to be a bit closer than that, but still plenty of time left. You can probably get another run in.
That sun's a bit bright, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I think obviously in recent years Malaysia's become to suit European viewers. It's been shown later on in the day, so the sun is a bit lower down in some of the races. Showing second. Wow, I wasn't expecting him to be up there.
Yeah.
32.1.
Really
That's
yeah,
a very
really
good time. Very, very good time indeed.
Can anyone else get in the 1:31s?
Yeah, I think they could. I don't know. Maybe some of the other runners just didn't have were just setting a benchmark time, and then give them something to aim at. Good aids obviously just set in a good time from the very outset. Be interesting to see if anyone can beat that, because to me that looks a very, very tough time to beat, but you never know. Right, who else is out in the run here at the minute? We've got Wesley Santana about to set a lap time here. Or no, he's just on an out lap.
Who's coming out now? Dobby's on his out lap.
Alright, let's see what Santana can do into turn 1. All looks relatively smooth so far. Go on board through this sector.
Trixie's on a fast lap.
Sector split's very good, yeah. Lovely red glowing brakes as he comes into sector 3 here. Ooh, he went a little bit wide there. I think he might have lost a couple of tenths or so. Let's see what he can do. It's hard to get it back because obviously once you go wide, the lap's over. He went wide there. It's on the gravel.
Fuzzer done a 1:31.9.
Is that was that his second lap on those tires? I believe it was. Yeah, so I don't know. It's always I always find that a bit risky. Like sometimes, I think in this game you could probably get away with running 2 laps on the same set of tires in quali, but it could be a factor during the race as well.
Tekin, Sao Paulo, and Wesley Santana are on the softs.
They're on the softs, so there must be just thinking of race strategy or planning a race strategy as well.
Yeah, well, Sao Paulo, he went off, didn't he? So maybe he's thinking of the long game now.
And of course, if you start from outside the top 10, then you can choose whatever tires you want to start on as well. You don't have to start on your qualifying tires, which could be good for them and help them climb up the grid. Just on board here with John as he's just heading into his first lap. He's on his out lap at the minute, I think.
Good Age is coming back out. He's on his out lap. So he's... Dobby's just done a 1:31.4.
That's a very good time. Very, very good time.
I knew he'd be up there.
Yeah, Dobby's one of the main championship contenders, and obviously at this point of the season, you know, points are crucial. He'll definitely be up there for the rest of the season, no doubt about that. Right, just going on board with Good Heads here, as he's on his out lap at the minute, just getting heat into his tires.
I was expecting Ennard to be higher up.
Oh, we got a yellow flag in sector 2.
Or Ennard's back coming out again, so we could get in a 1:31s hopefully.
Right. Let's see what Good Aids can do. I'm gonna run board with this lap, I think. Let's see what he can do. Obviously, the settings will be turned up to the max.
That's a good lap from Funky Cobra, 1:32.0.
Yeah, very good from Funky. Wasn't expecting him to be as far.
He's improving all the time.
Oh yeah, no, he's improving at a very fast rate. You know, I'd say, you know, give him up time. He could definitely be right up there with the front runners for next season. I feel quite confident about that.
Like, I know he has some friends he races with a lot, and they're very fast drivers. So
I think if he can just get that speed to match his consistency and constantly finishing races, then you know he could definitely be a championship contender here. Right, riding on board with Good Aids. Let's see what he can do. Just coming through sector 2 into the third sector.
Good Aids is coming towards the end of his lap.
I'm on board with him as well. This looks a good time.
What he does.
Ooh, 5/100 off.
So close.
So close. So close. Right.
Fuzz is crossing the line now.
He's just started the lap, or is he?
No, yeah, he's just starting. Sorry.
He timed that well. He'll be the last of the runners crossing the line, I assume, because the flag's just out. Let's see what
let's see if he can overtake these two now.
Yeah, should be no issues with traffic. I love this part of the track here, the sweeping S section. It's very hard part of the track.
Oh no,
to nail it, but it's so rewarding if you can. Oh, he'll have lost a bit of time there. It cost him a few tenths, and he's run a bit wide in that as well. It's not looking too good this lap at the moment, anyway. I don't know. I don't think he'll qualify for pole position, but it'd be interesting to see if he can improve his current time. Just watching him come through these bends here.
He's gone a little bit wide. Pub comes fourth,
1:31.927. So Fuzz is down to 5th now. Ooh, he went a little bit wide through that corner onto the back straight. DRS open. Oh, he's turned it off. I'd assume he's probably, he's retired from the session. Giving up on the lap.
Funky Cobra went faster again. 1:31.9.
Yeah, Funky, he's doing a really good job. I'd say he could be. He's definitely in contention.
I think he likes this track.
Yeah, I think it's one of those tracks you either love it or you hate it. There's no really in between with this track. And there's not much room for error either. I think that's what a lot of people like about this track, is you don't have all the runoff areas like you have on so many of the circuits now.
We've got a couple of fast drivers towards the back. We've got Sao Paulo in 16. And NR's, I think he's 40.
Right, so let's just do a rundown. We've got Dobby in pole, Good Aids in second, John in third, Pub fourth, Funky fifth, Fuzz sixth, Georgalis seventh, Sean eighth, Trizzy ninth, Napala 185 in 10th, and then you've got the rest of the runners who can start in whatever tire they want, from Woods all the way down to Steve-O, who's at the back in 18th.
Right, what's your predictions for the
For the race? Based on that session, you'd have to fancy Dobby being a real contender for the victory. I know Fuzza didn't have a great qualifying. I suspect he'll be up there as well, competing. I think it'll be a very close race at the front. I think it'll be a very enjoyable race as well.
Tekken said in the chat, P13 with a wet setup, so they're expecting rain.
They're expecting rain for the
Look at the clouds.
for the race. Yeah, the clouds look pretty menacing, and we've seen whenever it rains in Malaysia, it really rains. So will there be a huge downpour here, and will we expect a lot of drivers coming in for intermediates or wet tires in the early laps?
Right.
Right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Lights are off. Good start from Dobby there, and Good Aids as well. Good Aids looks like he's got the momentum going into turn one here. Can he make it stick? Oh, he's made it stick. Fantastic move.
There's a bit of contact with the Red Bulls then.
Oh, George Alice just about held it from Fuzza.
No, Goliath. Goliath and...
what's going on here? Got a Red Bull off. Got a Red Bull off. Who is that? That is Trizzy. So Good Aids leads, Pubstar second, Dobby third, Funky fourth, John fifth. Fuzz has dropped a place to sixth. Then you've got Sean seventh, Georgalis eighth, Napala ninth. Woods has just lost position to B Smooth. B Smooth just made a lovely move around the outside, but just doesn't appear to have held it. He'll try and outbrake him into this corner. Woods holds him off. Running down the back of the fields here, you've got NR scrapping away with Steve-O, his teammate. Pagani 15th, Tekken, True Ogre 16th, Wesley Santana 17th, and then Trizzy must have some sort of front wing damage because he's dropped away off at the back there. So they're just coming down.
Sao Paulo's made up 4 places.
Very, very, very good start indeed for Sao Paulo.
And he's overtaken his teammate now. He's in.
We'll go on board with this scrap for 5th here. Fuzza scrapping away with John.
Yellow in. One of the Ferraris have gone off. That's B Smooth.
B Smooth at the back.
Yeah. Trixie
must have spun at the back.
Trixie's in the pits. The rain's coming down now.
Yeah, this is like a start to the 2001 race here. I can sense a big deluge coming down. Good Aids hasn't pulled away as much as I was expecting, because I saw him at the start of the first lap and it looked like he was building up a wee bit of a margin.
Trixie's been disqualified for some reason.
I don't know why that is. It's a bit of a curious case. Yeah, you can see the rain just starting to come down on the camera lens now. This will be a really tricky time for the drivers. You can whenever the rain starts coming down and you're on slicks, it really is a horrible feeling. Virtual safety car.
Yeah.
So that neutralizes the race temporarily.
They'll be pitting for inters in 3 laps, I'd say.
Yeah, I suspect the lap times will start dropping off very quickly. Got Pub.
Oh, Sao Paulo goes off.
Oh, the race is resumed.
I think it's getting slippery already.
Yeah, it looks like there's a massive battle here for 8th. Woods looks like he's holding up a big train of cars here, and there's a big scrap.
Steve-O's made 7 places up.
Steve-O's just past Fuzza. I suspect Fuzza must have some sort of front wing damage, but he's holding out until the pit stops, because obviously there's been no point in pitting now, pitting for another set of slicks, and it's still too dry. It's coming for inters. Pub's still very much on Goodaid's back end. Looks like Pub has more confidence in these conditions, at least at the moment. Anyway, I could sense him making a move sometime soon. Surely it won't be too. Although he'll have to use normal slipstream or something like that, because I'm assuming DRS will have been disabled in these current conditions.
Pagani's just overtaken Wesley
for 15th. Yeah, so he's making his way through the field. He's currently on board with these guys. Let's just see what they do in terms of their strategy. Surely it'll be either this lap or the next lap they come in. So
we've got Woods on medium tyres.
That's it. So yeah, no, he's made his way through from the back of the field. It won't really matter too much now because everyone will be going on to the intermediate tyres. Appears to be an incident further back. Oh, goody! It's just set the fastest lap. Oh, we've got Sao spinning at the back.
The rain's coming right down now.
Sao spinning at the back. He must have lost it on the back straight there. Still, this battle rages on at the front here. The
race is settled down a bit now, isn't it?
Yeah. Although still at the front, you've got Pub very much still on Goodaid's tail. We're on lap 4 here. Still a long way to go here.
He's keeping up nicely, isn't he?
Yeah. I think it'll come during the pit stops. Like, I mean, it just wouldn't be worth it making a move now, especially in these conditions as well, because you could so easily lock up a brake. It would just be better waiting until you're on the right tires and then making the move.
I think they'll be pitting in the next lap or two.
It looks like their lap times are starting to drop off a bit at the moment.
I don't know how long this rain's gonna last.
Yeah, it's one of those weird places, Malaysia, because you could have a sudden downpour and then it might only last a few minutes, but then you could have a situation where it could rain for a lot longer than that. So it'll be interesting to see whether this carries on throughout the rest of the race. I suspect the closest battle we have at the minute is actually for 3rd and 4th. You've got Dobby and Funky Cobra. Although if we were to go all the way back to 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, there's a huge battle emerging here. It looks like Fuzz is starting to pick up his pace again. I wonder why he was so slow in the early laps. That's a bit curious.
I'm not sure if he had a bit of damage at the start.
Yeah, he could. It might be a bit wing damage. And, so Paolo's got a 5-second stop-go penalty. His race has really gone down the drain since that spin.
And we've got Wesley Santana. He's come on the inters, and Sao Paulo's.
So some people jumping onto the inters straight away. Oh, George Alice has gone off the track. He must have spun. No, he's rejoined.
They're so close together.
Yeah, they're flip me. There must be about 7 or 8 cars within. Oh, George Alice has lost a little bit more of his
hit the Renault then.
Yeah, Sean makes his way up into 7th place. Let's see what Goodaid's and Pubstar decide to do. Keeping an eye out on these guys. Let's see if they decide to stay out or come in for some tyres. Oh, they're still staying out. They're still staying out. I'm amazed. Clearly,
Yeah.
they still have enough grip to feel confident that the
I don't
pace
think
is
the
good enough.
Inters are ready yet because Wesley Santana, he's losing time to be smooth. So I don't think they're quite
Yeah,
ready. He's losing a lot of time.
it's very hard here. You know, it's it's hard to gauge, like, because, like, I mean, you could be on the Inters thinking you've got the right tires
And
ready to
showing a
go.
further pit.
Right, so they're both going to intermediates then. Let's see the pit stop here. Yeah, looks good, no issues. Fuzz as well, slot going on to the
I think
Inters.
it's about. I think it's the right time now because showing always makes the right call. You
Yeah,
don't. You don't make a
it'll be
mistake.
interesting to see where they rejoin then, respective to the front runners, and whether they can gain any further positions on where they were, which is about 6th or 7th. So currently back on board with the leaders again, just seeing what they will do here. I'm amazed they haven't come in, like, the grips. The tires are starting to lose their performance now. You know,
The
they can't get the
DRS ain't
temperature.
disabled yet, though, is it?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
As soon as that's disabled, then that's a call. Maybe Showen and Fuzzer had some damage. That's why they came in now.
I know Fuzz has certainly had some damage, but maybe they did make the right call in coming in for their stops. There's DRS disabled. That's usually an indicator of that it's now would be the right time to come in. Yes, they both head to the pits now,
Yeah.
and let's see what the rest of the field do. Yep, everyone's starting to come in for Inters now. So that's John into the pits. Yep, everyone's coming in. And then, of course, all the other guys are still out there on the dries. Oh, Pub was held up a bit by Dobby in the pit stop, so he'll have lost a bit of time to good aids. I'll go on board with Showan and Fuzza. Let's see where they rejoin. In contrast to the guys who stayed out a lap later. Yeah, so they've timed it perfectly. They've timed it perfectly. Showan is up to 5th.
Yeah.
Fuzza is up to 6th. They've gained probably 2 or 3 positions on the guys that stayed out a lap longer. So they timed it absolutely to perfection.
So Fuzz has made up for his mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. Like he would have pitted if it was a dry race. He would have pitted anyway in the early laps because he was losing so much pace. But thankfully for him, the rain came out and he wasn't able to lose too much time.
Pub was only 1 second behind Good Aids before the pits. Now he's 3
Yeah,
seconds
no, it's 3
behind.
seconds. Yeah, no, Dobby.
I don't know what happened there.
He wasn't a lot. It would have been an unsafe release because Dobby just was in his line just as he was about to leave the pits. Like, so they couldn't
That's
release
unlucky.
him. So yeah, it's a shame for him.
I think he's closing the gap a bit now.
Yeah, he was right with Showan. So it'll be interesting to see what Fozza can do now. Now that his car should be fully repaired, and let's see what he can do in his attempts to chase after Showan in the battle for 5th.
NR's made 7 places up.
Yeah, he's a really good start. He must have just had a very poor qualifying session. You know, I didn't really see too much of him. But obviously he's just strategized for the race. Oh, was that a Renault going off in the background? Yes, it was.
Pagani.
Pagani went up. Pagani just off the circuit there. I think he must have just locked up a brake or something like that and went wide.
He has such bad luck.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue was, but yeah, back on board with Sean and Fuzza here in the battle for 5th and 6th.
We've got Napula coming to challenge Goliath.
Mm-hmm. Will Fuzza go for a move here? think
Yeah, he's really close.
he's sensing an opportunity. You've also got NR and John very close behind them as well. I suspect it'll probably have to be down the pit straight, or he has to hope Sean makes a mistake here, because there's really nowhere to pass in sector 2, unless
So Paolo's in the pits again.
Yeah, he's having an awful race. I suspect. Be amazed if he stayed out for too much longer, because his race is really in ruins. He really has to hope for.
He must have damaged his wing again.
Yeah, he really has to hope for a bit of good luck to bring him back into the race. So it does.
He needs a safety car.
Yeah, he really does. So
Funky Cobra is still doing well.
Yeah, Funky's having a really good race. He was with Dobby, for a few laps there, battling him for third, but I think he's just starting to fall back a little bit from him. But his pace has been really good, Funky. So it has been. Very impressed with his performance so far. Meanwhile, still on board with this fight between Sean and Fuzza. Let's go on board actually. With Fuzza.
I think he's going to get him here.
Yeah, he's in the slipstream. Is he close enough?
He's going to get him here.
Will he have a lunge into turn 1? Surely he's got to make the move. Yep, Sean gives him the room, but Sean could still holds the outside line.
He's got the.
Good driving between the two. Yep, Fuzza's got it. He's.
I love that corner.
Yeah, it's a really nice part of the track here. Sector 1.
That's the only bit I like about the track. Is that corner.
Mhm. Right. So yeah, the gap at the front's still about 3 seconds here. Pub just can't close the gap.
Yeah.
At the minute, like it's just stayed around for 3 seconds for a few laps now.
That pit stop cost him, didn't it?
Yeah, pit stops. Yeah, they would have been very close together, those two.
He's lost.
But he's lost a bit of time now, because obviously couldn't leave the pits. Let's go on board with the battle for 8th here. We've got four-way dice for 8th here. But George Alice, he's just moved up into 8th. If he can make it stick, yep, he can. John looks like he's struggling in these conditions a bit. He was 7th. Just after they left the pits, and now he's dropped down a bit. Looks like Tekken's also getting ready to make a move on him as well. Yeah, this corner they enter here is one of the most horrible corners in Formula 1 in my opinion. It's so hard to get it right. There really is no line to it.
This rain's not going to go away for a long time by the looks of it.
Yeah, looks like it's getting heavier as well. I wonder will we see drivers coming in for full wets sometime soon.
It looks that way.
Yeah, it looks that way at the moment. Tekken not trying to move here just yet. Oh, he's going around the outside. Can he make it stick? No, he just can't hold it around the outside here.
Oh.
NR's made a move on Sean. He's up into 6th, and he's chasing down Fuzz as well. He looks very quick at the minute. Like, looks like he's got some really good pace. We'll go on board.
We still have 17 runners. Only Trixie
has just got disqualified. Yeah, I'm not sure why that was the case, but I guess
no retirements.
I guess we'll find out.
We're on lap 10 with a third of the way.
Third of the way into the race. Yeah, it's been a lot of good action so far. I think obviously the rains really spice things up, so it'll be interesting to see whether the rain stays or whether it'll get heavier.
Division 1 races, they've had a lot of rain this season.
Oh, ooh, NR gets very sideways there. That'll cost him a little bit of time.
Haven't they? Division 1 races there's been a lot of rain compared to
previous years.
2 races.
Yeah. You suppose from the neutral point of view, it always spices up the race. But obviously, whenever you're out there as a driver, it's you just want it to be dry, and then you don't have to worry about losing the grip all the time. So where's the closest battle on track at the minute? It'll be
Pub
for...
has lost more time to Good Aids. He's nearly 4 seconds behind
I
him.
noticed he was, I think it was about a lap or two ago, he dropped about 9/10 in the lap, so the gap's now about 3.8 seconds, nearing 4 seconds, so it looks like Good Aids is pulling away.
And Funky's keeping up with Dobby. He's only
He's hanging on. He's
behind.
hanging on remarkably well. I'm just on board with the battle for 10th here. You've got John battling Napala.
Yeah, Napala's pretty close.
He could go for a move here. No, he just doesn't. He doesn't make it stick at the minute.
Napala is a really good driver. He's very good at overtaking.
Yeah, he's a good driver. So he was actually my teammate for a bit as well.
He drove a great race.
He was my teammate last year, going really well with him. So let's see what he can do here. John looks like he's really struggling in these conditions. He's really not enjoying it. He's lost a lot of time in these conditions. Napoli looks like he's got a really good line here as well. We'll go on board with him just to see if he can make a pass.
I don't know what's happened to Pub. I think he's gone off. He's 6 seconds behind now.
Yeah, 6 seconds. 6 seconds. He must have made a mistake somewhere. He's dropping off the back. Dobby's really starting to close in on him now as well.
So no one's coming in for wets just yet.
It looks like conditions have sort of stabilised in a minute, but you never know. It could be back on slicks before you know it, or it could be full wets before you know it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. We've got Stevo and Woods battling down there in 13th and 14th. It's one of the closer battles on the track.
Yeah, Woods is pretty close. Tekken's coming close to Goliath.
Yeah, looks that way. See what he can do here. Right on board with him.
It's going to be hard to overtake with this rain. There's without DRS on the streets.
And of course, being in wet conditions as well, there's only really one line to sort of follow as well. And then of course the margin for error on an overtake is that much greater as well. So you have to time it very carefully. I always always think the best way to do it is just try and force the driver ahead of you to make a mistake, and then capitalize on it.
I think the first corner is the best place to overtake.
Yeah, normally, obviously in dry conditions, what I would do is wait until the second DRS zone on the front straight to make a pass. But obviously that's being in the rain, DRS isn't active, so you're just gonna have to be more inventive and creative with the pass in place as well.
Everyone seems to be keeping themselves on track pretty well.
Yeah, it's good. It's good driving so far. Doesn't seem to be too many issues at the minute as we near the halfway point.
We got both Ferraris at the back, 16s and 17s.
Yeah,
it's a bad day for Ferrari.
It's been a really awful race for them. It's just on board here with Napala and John again. Napala looks like he's trying his best to try and pass him, but he just can't get away past at the minute.
Tekken's really close to Goliath now.
Yeah, those are the two closest battles on track. They're both very, very close to each other. Will Tekken try and move here?
And Pubster's closing the gap a bit now. He's getting.
Yeah, he took 9/10 off of Good Aids on that last lap, so it'll be interesting to see if he can close it.
We got Dobby catching up to Hubstar as well.
Yeah,
He's closed the gap.
yeah, no, and Funky's still the second, third, and fourth are separated by 3 seconds, so it could be a good three-way scrap between them soon if they can all cruise up to each other.
I think they're struggling to overtake here with this rain.
George went a little bit wide in the final corner there, but obviously means he got a good exit. We've got John and Napola battling here. Can Napola make the pass, or is he too far away? He's gonna have to be bold here because the normal passing places without DRS are become a lot more difficult. So he needs to try and force the issue.
These two were racing a lot in Singapore. They had some really good battles, so they're used to racing with each other.
And we've got Pagani also closing on to the back of these two as well, so it could be a three-way scrap for the last championship point here as well. Oh, John's gone a bit wide, but Napola's surely got the move done here. Although, don't try it.
He's coming back on in.
No, he's got it. He's up into 10th place, and Tekken's still trying to get past George Ellis up in front here. Can't make the move stick. Surely Pagani will be passing John before you know it as well. And Pubs is closing the gap back again. It's under 5 seconds now as well. Can he close back up to good 8? See what's Pagani can do here. Can he make the move stick? Going into the final corner here.
Pub has got it down to under 5 seconds now with the lead.
Yeah, the gap is closing. I wonder is Pub just starting to pick up his pace a bit? Maybe turning on a faster engine mode.
He's really found his pace the last 2 races, Pub.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a disappointing season for him, obviously, this year. You know, obviously he won the title last year and was really competitive, but he just hasn't been as quick this year. So it's good to see him back up at the sharp end again.
Yeah, he's found his form.
Yeah.
We've got Fezzer closing the gap slowly on Funky. We've got it down to 7 seconds.
Yeah. Will there be another stop for Inters, or can this set of Inters run to the end of the race?
I'm not sure, but I think the rain's easing a bit now. And
don't know. It still looks quite heavy here. We'll see what happens. It could very well be the case that it starts to dry up in the next few laps, but we'll see. As Pagani goes around the outside of John, going into this corner, he's got better traction.
You can see the clouds opening up.
Oh, John's made it back through again. Can he make it stick? Yes, he has. Great battling between these two. Right on board with them. Pagani's all over the back of him. Surely it will only be a matter of time before he makes a move stick. It's a good line he's taking as well.
Sao Paulo's just taking beast move.
Yeah.
The back.
It's kind of a shame, really. They're not really in the points positions.
I know.
It's just sort of for the low.
I know Beast Smooth, he doesn't like the rain much.
Yeah, it's a shame like it. But it's the way the conditions are. As Pagani's just passed John, he's up until 11th place now, and you've also got Steve Owen Woods battling for 13th and 14th again. So while there's a little bit of a lull in the action, we'll just we'll run down the grid.
Pagani went off then a bit.
Oh, Pagani has gone off.
No, he only went off slightly.
But that's allowed John obviously to make the move back again. Oh, we've got a good battle here between George
Second
and
and
Tekken.
Goliath.
Oh, and Pub's got a
Pu-
3-second time
3
penalty
seconds.
for corner cutting. That
Ah,
could be crucial if he doesn't close the gap. And then
but the gap's over 6 seconds ago now. I don't know why.
yeah,
He like
that could be
he cuts the
pivotal.
gap,
He
and now it's
as things stand, if things finishes the way they are, he would drop down to third behind Dobby. So we'll ride on board with Tekken here. Let's see what he can do with George Alice. Can he make the move stick? No, he's a little bit too far back.
oh, he's too far. We got NR close to Fuzzer.
Yeah, that gap's really close now. I thought NR was
This is
starting
going
to
to be a
drop
good
off.
battle.
Yeah, this could be a really good battle here for 5th place.
Yeah, the sun's coming out. I
Because
think it's going to be driving.
at the situation at the minute is, you know, Fuzza needs this to be a damage limitation race because he's 14 seconds behind Dobby, and he'll lose some crucial points in the championship. So he needs to keep that 5th place if he can, or hope that Dobby runs into some sort of problems.
Dobby's really close to Pub as well.
Yeah, he's closed the gap as well. I'll ride on board with Fuzza and NR here. So the two championship contenders battling away. Fuzza's trying to defend the position, Dobby's trying to move up one. And I think if Dobby was to move up to 2nd and Fuzza was in 5th, then the championship would basically be neck and neck, I think, as things stand.
Yeah. There's only 8 points in it.
So if things were to finish as they finish with Fuzza in 5th and then Dobby grabs 2nd, which is obviously more likely now, like Pub's got a penalty, it would be a dead heat at the moment in the title race, which would set us up nicely going into the final few races of the season. Well, we've got drivers in the pits.
We're going to put more slicks on it.
They're in the pits for inters, so obviously they couldn't run those set inters to the end, like, so.
I think
you've got a whole cluster of cars coming in.
So we got Funky stayed out and he's in the lead now.
Napolis stayed out. He's up into 5th now. Can he take 4th from Dobby? Will he? No, I think Dobby just gets in front of him. That's crucial. Couldn't afford to be stuck behind traffic. Funky stays out, so it does.
I think this range lasts until the end because they put more inters on.
Yeah, they put more inters on. So yeah, and I'm assuming it'll be those conditions to the end of the race. Although you never know, anything could happen in Formula One. Surely Funky can't go to the end here. He'll have to pit. Like, I can't see him doing 20 odd laps on a set inters.
He'd be losing time now, so he might as well come in for
might as well come in, yeah.
We got NR close to Showen.
Yeah, obviously NR's pitted and Showen's stayed out on his inters, so let's see how easily or how difficult it will be for him to get past. We've got Fuzzle moving up to 7th place at the expense of Woods, so he's made it through quickly enough. Oh, Fuzz has left the session.
He's lagged out.
That's really bad news. That will effectively mean then.
I know, it's going to ruin his.
It's going to ruin his championship. That could be a pivotal moment in the championship.
We still got 17 runners. Oh, it's a close battle this is.
So obviously Funky's staying out at the minute, although he's lost about a second to good is on that lap, so surely it
But
can't be.
Fuzz is back now, so
Yeah. Yeah, Goodies is really starting to bring that gap down.
it's a,
Pubs lost more time to Goodies in stops like, and he really needs to keep
I,
Dobby behind him with it.
I think this is Good A's win at the moment.
Yeah, he's looking very good for the victory at the minute. Where's the closest
He should
battle
have
on
won
the
in
track?
Singapore, but
Wasn't meant to be.
he
Yeah.
has some bad luck at the end. And
Oh,
Pagani
Pagani,
gets a
5 second stop go penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
and he's retired.
He's retired.
I don't know what happened there.
So clearly an issue there.
Yeah, he's retired in the pits.
Yeah. So Sean and NR closing up quickly to the back of Woods in the battle for 7th place.
We got yellow sector 1.
That's cleared up now.
I think that's because Pagani's car's come back out. I don't know why.
Riding on board here. Let's see. Sean will surely force his way past soon. He'll probably just wait until the back straight to make the move. Tekken is all over the back of Sean like a rash.
Oh,
We've got a virtual safety car.
I think that was caused by Pagani's car. Because it come in the pits, he retired and it come back out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one that. Right, so well, we've got the gap here. Napple has come into the pits for his set of inters. His last set of inters was to take him to name the race. That was a really good time as well. Because under virtual safety car, obviously the rest of the pack will have to slow down. And
Sean gets a drive-through penalty. Speeding.
That's not
Under the virtual safety car.
That's a disaster for him. That'll ruin
That
his
costs
race.
you loads of time, doesn't it?
It'll cost him about 10-15 seconds at the very least, anyway.
No, more than that.
Yeah, for sure.
So Funky, I don't know why he hasn't come in.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Is Funky going to stay out? Because, you know...
If he stays out, he could possibly get second. He's far enough ahead.
But the question is, will he have the pace to hang on? I suspect a good aid is probably not, but you never know.
No. But I could see him, if he stays out, he could get second.
Yeah, for sure. As long as he doesn't lose too much time to pub. Now, you know, there's 8 laps to go. If he was only to lose, I don't know, around 1.5 seconds to pub, and yeah, he could get second. But we'll have to see. Still 8 laps to go. Anything could happen. Right, you've got.
Do you think he'll make those tires last?
I'd be amazed if he would make them last. You've got a really good battle for 6th here. You've got Sean, who's just come into the pits actually. Obviously he has to take his drive-through penalty as well. You've now got NR and Fuzza.
I bet he's fuming.
Oh, he'll be livid, I'm sure. He'll be slamming the steering wheel in frustration. He'll be very, very annoyed.
It's like
at that.
You don't do that in a speed in a virtual safety car, do you?
I don't know what happens
suicidal.
with him. I'm sure she'll be really annoyed on whatever happened. Like. We've got a really good battle here developing between Fuzzy and NR. I wonder did NR come out ahead of Fuzzy in the pit stops, like, because it looks like I know Fuzzy was ahead of him, and now he's not.
So Pub is still 12 seconds behind Funky with 7 laps to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the issues is you can't pull away from B Smooth. B Smooth's a lap down, obviously. So
yeah.
That just shows that he's struggling out there. Yeah, Goodins is really starting to close him in now. Funky's come into the pits like he just wasn't going to make the tires last. Yeah, that's a bit disappointing for him now because you know that
no, he's lost a lot of time there.
Yeah. But obviously he'll have fresher tyres to go to the end of the race. Oh, Fuzza has forced his way through on NR.
He should come out back out in fourth.
Yeah, I think he should be able to get ahead of stay ahead of Fuzza and NR here. They're in a really good battle here. And John's coming into the pits as well because yeah, he was struggling for pace against the
Fuzza and NR coming.
Yeah, this will be a really good battle between these two. Tekken and Napoli having a good wee battle further back as well. Looks like they will have a good battle.
Tekken done well here yesterday. He come third.
Yeah, it looks like he's got some good pace. It looks like he's moving up the order.
Showen's in 10th now.
Yeah, that's still. Yeah, he's still in the points, but obviously, you know, he was battling with Fuzza and NR, so he's lost a lot of time. Like he's 22 seconds behind them now. He'll be really annoyed and frustrated.
So we've got a battle with NR and Fuzza.
Yeah, this could be a really good battle in these last couple of laps here of the Malaysian Grand Prix. It's been a really good race so far. Enjoyed it. It's been a lot of action going on in the midfield here. Some really good battles.
It was a bit of a hectic start, but
yeah, it was a bit.
Other than that,
lap one, little bit of drama, but other than that, it looks like it's been pretty smooth from what we've seen so far.
In Singapore, quite a lot retired.
Yeah, Singapore is very much a race of attrition. You know, you see that in the real life Grand Prix, and obviously in the game as well. It's just, I think that's always going to be the case with the street circuit. You will have a lot of retirements, and of course Singapore is such a long circuit as well. Whereas obviously this is a lot more open. You know, you've got a lot more room to pass.
Yeah, if you go off, you can save your wing or tire.
Like it's not as forgiving as some of the other tracks. Like I mean, you've got a lot of gravel traps and grassy areas, but yeah, no, in comparison to Singapore, there's a lot less room for error. It looks like Fuzz is just starting to pull away from NR. Looks like NR just can't keep up at the minute in time. So we'll go on board with Tekken and Napoli in the battle for 7th and 8th. Looks like Napoli's all over the back of him, just trying to force a move, but it's so difficult to overtake in the wet in this part of the track, let alone the dry line.
Napoli's been quite racy today.
Yeah, no, he looks like he's had some good pace, and he's made quite a few overtakes as well. Looks like he's had some decent race pace as well.
I don't know what happened to John, but he's down in 30.
Yeah, he stayed out as long as Funky did on the inters, and obviously I noticed him earlier in the race. He looks like he was struggling a bit on the inters, and he's just fallen down outside the points. Like so, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he can get back up. But I suspect being 10 seconds behind Woods, it'd be unlikely he can get any sort of points. So riding on board here with Napoli and Tekken, what can he do to force the move? Is there anything he can do? Or does he just have to try and force Tekken into a mistake?
NR's made 9 places up. Really bad.
Yeah, that's a
Tekken, he's made 6 places up. And Steve-O, he's made 7 places up.
They've made a lot of gains here. Obviously there's been a couple incidents at the starts, and then of course the different strategies. You know, it's very, you know, these wet races are very much win or lose in terms of strategy. Like it's really hard to decide. And if you noticed, the track's starting to dry, so this could be interesting here. Will it dry up enough for someone to decide to gamble on the slicks, or is there just not enough laps left to do it?
Well, it's drying up pretty quick, and John came in the pits and
Has he put
He
slicks
puts
on? He's put slicks
yeah,
on, yeah.
he puts super soft on.
I suspect it's probably still a little bit too early, but you never know.
He, he's got nothing to lose.
He was outside the points anyway. He may as well go for it. Oh, Steve-O. It's Woods battling away there. We're going back on board again with Napoleon's Tekken.
this is bad timing because there's only like 3 laps
Oh, he
left.
lost the back end here. Yeah, I think he caught a bit of the grass. He just couldn't hold it, but he's still pointing in the right direction. So what do these guys do? What would you
it's hard.
what would you do in this situation? Would you stay out or would you pit for slicks if you saw the pace was
Well,
there?
if you've got enough gap, you might as well stay out. If you've got a big enough gap.
See, like I mean, obviously if you're in someone like, obviously if you're good aids at the front, you just stay out, like, because you're 10 seconds ahead of everyone. You can just react to what everyone else does, and you can obviously see further down. You know, if John, I suppose we have to look at John to see, or he has to look at John to see what lap times if he does, and if John doesn't set anything really competitive, then
And Steve-O's in for slicks, I think.
Yeah, so if we've got a few guys coming in, they've really got nothing to lose. Like, they may as well come in for the set of slicks. They're outside the points.
And John gets a 3-second time penalty.
I wonder why that was.
There hasn't been many penalties today. I've only seen a couple.
Yeah. Oh, we've got beast.
Buzzer's back in 5th now.
Yeah, no, he must have overtaken NR a few laps ago, and then he's pulled the gap out since. Looks like a couple of these guys are really starting to struggle now. Yeah, I think it's time. Yep, Good Aids is coming in for slicks. Oh, and NR's received a 5-second stop-go penalty. That could be really damaging to his race, like, because obviously he'll have to wait in the box for 5 seconds before they can change his tires. Pub stays out. This is a risky one. See, if you were Pub, would you stay out now?
Showen got a 5-second up-go penalty again.
So what do you do if you're these two guys at the front? Do you stay out? Because obviously Good Aids is...
They got a big enough gap.
I don't know. It's going to be tough, one.
But Good Aids would be flying on those.
Oh yeah, Good Aids. Yeah, yeah, you see the pace. Good Aids is taking a couple of seconds out of them within a few corners. Like, yeah, they have to come in now. They're losing way too much time here.
Yeah.
They're just going to get past left, right, and centre if they don't come in now. They've already lost significant ground by staying out the extra lap.
Funky and Fuzz are on super softs as well, so maybe they can catch up to Pub and Bobby.
Yeah, these two have definitely made a bad strategy call here, I think. They're losing way too much time.
This is good for Fuzz's championship.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they stayed out the extra lap here. They're losing too much time. This is just exactly what Fuzzin needed, because earlier in the race, yeah, Dobby was running second, and then Fuzzin was a few positions down. So, yeah, I wonder. We'll have to see where these two rejoin. Good Aids is back at the lead of the race. He looks well set for the victory. So we'll actually. Oh, Dobby's staying out. Dobby is staying out. I find that amazing.
Crazy.
Surely he can't stay. Surely he can't hold on. Like, he should have pitted. I can't, because you saw how much time Good Aids took out of him that lap. He must have taken at least over 10 seconds out of him. Over 10 seconds out of him. I find it amazing he stayed out.
Well, Pub he's 10 seconds behind Bobby. Was it? No, 18. Sorry.
But the key thing to look at is look how far Dobby drops off in terms of his gap to the leader.
Are you on board with Dobby?
Yeah, he's really struggling. Sao Paulo's just passed him, and he's just unlapped himself. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Pub
lost
is.
he's lost about 16 seconds already, or that there was a 16-second margin between Dobby and Pub
Uh,
at the start of the lap, and he's lost 6 already.
he could end up being fifth at this rate.
Yeah, I'd suspect it will be fifth. I think NR's just a little bit too far behind to catch up to him.
And Goliath retires. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened to him. Yeah, he spun it. And Gooday's done the fastest lap.
Yeah, no. It's the conditions are a bit weird now. As we head into the last lap here, the rain's starting to come back on again, which I find a bit peculiar. But obviously, they just couldn't carry on the intermediates because the wear would have just been too bad in those dry laps. That. Yeah, I find it amazing. Dobby stayed out. He's lost 13 seconds on that lap to Good Aids. I'm just running.
Well, they're on the last lap, so
Yeah.
he could do it.
I'd be amazed if he held on to those two, because those guys are only a few seconds behind him now, and it is starting to rain back a little bit again, so that might just help Dobby. I don't know.
That's weird.
The
guys
guys at the front are starting to struggle. They just don't have the grip again. So that might just be Dobby's saving grace here.
Yeah, Pub's losing time to Dobby.
Well, that's weird. Interesting. I've never seen that before. It was dry for literally two or three laps, and then all of a sudden, it started raining again.
So Dobby's gained a position by staying out.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, it's hard. It was really hard to call. Like, but we're just watching Good Aids come across the line here. He's been complete dominating race here. Been brilliant the whole way through. Truly, thoroughly deserved win. It's been outstanding in this race. So we just watched Dobby come across the line here, and he wins the Malaysian Grand Prix. Great performance. Dobby will come home second, obviously, because it's just started to rain again. Great call from him and bold call from him as well to stay out in these inters.
Who's your driver of the day? I think Dobby's got to be.
Dobby's definitely, in my opinion, Good Aids, because Good Aids, he took the lead earlier on, led the race comfortably at the front, didn't really make any mistakes, and we're just watching. Oh, this could be interesting here. Fuzza and NR in the last lap here. Will NR try a risky move to get past him? Fuzza defends the inside line. Yeah, NR's had a good race. I suspect if he hadn't had the penalty, it'd have been a lot. He might have made a move by now. But
and Steve-O's had a really good
Napoli
race.
spun on the line.
Well
should be all right. Just
Steve-O gets some points. He finished.
Yeah, he's had a tough season, like so.
And that's a really good.
Yeah, it's a good race for him. So just Steve 08, Sean will be really disappointed. He was up there battling Fuzza and NR for fifth, and he's ended up coming home in ninth place. So he'll be really disappointed about that. But these things happen, I guess.
So that was a strange race at the end.
Very, very bizarre. I've never seen that before, where it goes from dry to rain to back to dry, and then to rain again in just a few laps. It was so bizarre. Thank you very much, everybody who tuned in tonight. So I hope you enjoyed this race. I know we did. Thank you very much, Chris, as well, for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for.
So we watched the podium celebrations here. Good Aids will be delighted. What a race he's had. Thoroughly deserved victory. Took that lovely Force India, if you can call it. Pink, really. So that was a great call from Dobby as well. He's got himself right back in the championship game now by staying out, and it's now tied at the top.
So we had Good Age first, Dobby second,
Funky third. You run through.
Pup had that penalty, didn't he?
Yeah, so he had the 3-second penalty as well.
Funky got the podium.
Funky got a podium. Well done, Funky. Really good race here. Well done, all the drivers as well. What a great race. Hope you enjoyed the race, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for tuning